So we're back. Welcome back. And we are going to today look through our viewing policies or navigating policy administration. So the navigation is quite simple. Today we're going to focus on single premium product, and we're going to navigate through how to look and what you can do within navigating this product. So when you first come into Synaptic, you're always going to come in at one particular point, and that is at the point of policy administration and view products. This screen will be showing at all times when you come into VAPS. So you will then be able to search on a variety of different ways. So first name, second name, surname, ID number, VIN number, engine number, registration, policy, platform, or invoice number. Now, if you're doing multiple invoices, you're going to get every single policy on that invoice number. And again, if you're searching for someone like a Marais, you're going to get 1,000 surnames in this list. So we suggest that by searching on ID number or either on vehicle VIN number would be your two best searches that will give you a closer match than you will searching anywhere else. You could also search on policy number or platform reference. Now, policy number is our own internal number that we give the policy uniquely as it comes into the system. The platform reference is what DealerNet, Signio, Ceriti, or iPlatform will give the product when it's loaded on there. So you're going to have those two forms of identification. Now, the reason that we don't initiate a search on platform reference in general is because when you look at someone like Ceriti, they have a client number that they pass to us when we import the data, as opposed to having a singular policy number per product, where Signio has a single policy number per product. So depending on which platform you're playing on, depends on where you'll be able to understand or get the most valid information. We've always found that searching on ID number is generally the best way of doing it. So you enter the ID number, make sure your search is set to ID number, and you're going to come up with your lines of items. Now, this is the product we loaded during our test phase. So we are going to go into our product, and we're going to now start showing you how this works. When you double click on that product line, you're going to pop up with the administration screen that pops up in what we call the easy read format. It's going to show you the name and the surname of your client. It's going to show the ID number. It's going to show the contact details, so you can give the client a call. It's going to show the vehicle and the bank and bank finance house number that the bank was financed through or the car was financed through. If you drop down additional information, it opens up a whole new world of items and functions that you can now play with. But let's hold on to that for a second. So what you're going to see here is that you're going to see your claim history. So if this guy's got any claims on any particular parts of the car, it's going to bring that through here. You can then go and update any client information. So if I click on that button, it's going to bring up my screen whereby I can now go and update information on that client depending on what's happening. So we can say read rally has been definitely incorrectly spelt. So we can now change that, and we can say here corrected spelling of the client address, and we can say save. Please provide a Metro Council, and we're going to say here Russell Bay, save. So it'll also prompt you where there's pieces missing that we need to update. What will then happen here is that you'll then have that updated. You can also send the client random SMS. So let's say, for example, you need a copy of their ID book for institution of the policy, or you need some information from them. And you can say, morning, enter in your reason as to why you're going to send the SMS. And you can then say send the SMS. So that's how you can send a random SMS. You can then also go straight to a claim from here depending on which one you've highlighted. So you can then move straight into a claim, but that's not our job for today. So that's the first lot of information you can see there. If you've dropped down policy documents, you can then click on policy documents, and it's going to pop up a thing that will show to you all the different policy documents for that particular policy on that client. So in this case, we've got the welcome letter, a product booklet, a policy document itself, and the policy disclosure notice for that warranty. And you'll be able to here either download and print new books. If there is a book that is already saved, you can say overwrite it and print a new booklet. So in other words, if you've done an amendment or there's an address change, you want to overwrite it and you want to bring through a new policy document entirely. It's going to ask you, do you want to save with masked values? You say no, because you want to send this to the client. If you want to do masked values, you can as well. When that's downloaded, it's going to pop up a block saying, here is the document itself. Once the document has been saved, it's going to ask you if you want the document saved with a password. And here you're going to select yes or no. If you have administrative rights, this warning will pop up. If you do not have administrative rights, it does not pop up. It will save it with the client's ID as a password. For purposes of demonstration, I'm going to say no because I'm dealing with my own document. And it pops it up in a nice format for you in terms of a PDF document. So you can't change this. So that's the document that's going to show for you, and you can now send this to the client and amend it so that you can say that the address has been changed or updated and everything is now sorted out correctly. Right, you can print all the documents from there. The other types of documents, so you can view reasons for change on the policy, you can view the policy notes, you can also do additional claims documentation. So everything you need in terms of all the policy documents are available in here, including notes. You can also download all policy documents. So let's say, for example, you've got currently an audit on this file and you need to quickly download all the documents for this client. You can click that button there and that will download it to your desktop in terms of a folder on your desktop. So that's how you can do the top part or topmost functions on this particular file. Now when we go into the actual additional information under policies, you'll list all the policies, or have listed all the policies the client owns that belong to you as the UMA. So we've got this here, and what you can do now is if you highlight it in blue, you can read through everything here. He's allowed 2 services, he's got no start and end kilometers, but this is the current product that's available to him now. So now what we're going to do is we're going to say we want to update the sold kilometers. So at the moment the sold kilometers are 145,000. Say, well, not really. At the time the sold kilometers are actually 120,000. Now you've put in the reason for change here, incorrectly captured at point of sale. And we're going to say save and return. Kilometers successfully changed. Remember that this is unfortunately administrative permissions and you may not have permissions for all of these functions. You can also update the active kilometers. So please select the policy line. So I'm going to select that line, update the active kilometers. At the moment it's 0 to 0. So we're going to say 120,000 to 999,999. Now, in most cases for a warranty, this does not matter. Active kilometers are normally indefinite and it is pertaining from when the car was sold, unless of course this is a brand new car and you're selling a top-up warranty that lasts or begins when the manufacturer's warranty ends. But in this case, let's do the update because you're going to need the start and to if this is a service and maintenance plan and the information was either omitted from the Signia and Ceriti import or was omitted during capturing. Right. Let's say, for example, there was a further error and the initiation date was incorrectly captured. At this point, if you have the permissions, you are able to also go into here and see when was the initiation date done. And you can say, oh, no, it's only supposed to initiate from the 8th because that's when he takes delivery of the car. And you say incorrectly captured at point of sale. And go update. So let's double check the changes we've done so far. So we've updated the initiation date to the 8th, and we've updated which will update the expiry date automatically, and we've also updated the start and end kilometers. So you'll see here that it's now 120 to 999,000. So we've got that all sorted for us now at the moment. So what we can do now is we can now walk through what we can do on the administration page. Vehicle warnings, so we can actually request a policy warning. So we could say here, for example, that this particular client is a very high claimer, or can create problems, or complains around every corner. So it gives you a bit of information. So when you go into this client file, whatever you type in here will pop up to say to you, watch out for this client, or be wary for certain reasons. So we could say this could be a director's son or daughter, but let's say, for example, high claimer, so that your staff are already aware that this person may be claiming for no reason, or might be trying to claim for rebuilding of the vehicle, whichever the case may be. Claims request or warnings, so if you add anything into here, when this will only pop up when you go into the claim request. So you can list here, we don't do battery on this particular chap's car because we've replaced the battery 4 times already. We don't know what he's doing to the batteries. So you could do whatever you need to do here. And the minute that that's done and set, you'll be able to insert that request, and it'll automatically show the flag is now active. So if I go out of this, and I go back in here, the note immediately says high claimer. Now we know what we are looking for. Now we can understand what's happening with this particular client. We can also have a look here and see what vehicles the client owns and what policies the vehicles persist at. So we know what's happening there. We can also have a look at the insured information. So we've got the insured information and the alternative contact. So we've got an easy way of understanding what's going on with this particular client. So as you can see here, we've loaded in the main member and we've loaded in the partner of the main member. We then have a look at the financial information. So this is what's happening on this. We can see here that this was invoiced and collected on, well, invoiced on the 3rd. It has not been collected yet. There is no paid date, and is paid is false. So we need to make that paid, and we need to make sure the date paid is in an active state. And that will then show you how much is happening. So as you go down, it'll start on the invoicing, on payment, and then if there's credit or cancellations, the credit and cancellations amount. And that is basically how you navigate through your administration screen. So for now, that's this video done, and we hope to see you in the next one.